Good afternoon, everyone. Special thank you to Ultimate FinTech for the invite to have this chat today. Today we have an amazing panel. Looking forward to having this discussion with you and giving some insights to the guests who gave us the honor to be here. We have Marios. Let me give a small intro and then we go around. You can introduce yourselves and then you share with us what comes to mind when you hear legacy chaos, what comes to mind when it comes to today's technology. So today we have all the organizations, they need to modernize. They need to modernize not because it's easier, but because the customers and their customers' customers expecting that to be faster, expecting them to unlock the data, to work and treat them on their insights, etc., etc., having in mind the AI is the middle of everything they do. Keeping the human in the loop in certain cases, but still leveraging AI a lot. So let me now go around the panel. Maybe you can introduce yourselves, where you're coming from, and some top of mind when you hear the term chaos, legacy chaos today. Marios? Maybe
I can start. Hello everyone, I'm Marios. I have been working at Google for the last 7 years. I am based in Dublin, in Ireland, but I am originally from Cyprus, so it's really good to be here today. And I have been collaborating with a lot of fintech and iGaming companies. Should we continue with the introductions and then discuss about the legacy house? Rob?
So my name's Rolston from Cyphenix. We're a trading platform.
Hi everybody, I'm Christoforos Theodoulou. I'm working with Metacodes. I'm the Chief Business Officer there. I'm heading the business development of the company and our sales teams. Metacodes is the developer of the trading platform MetaTrader 5, which is our flagship trading platform, and we are servicing brokers, exchanges, banks, and other financial institutions.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Salim Sebata, Chief Commercial Officer for Europe for GTN. GTN Group is an investment and brokerage infrastructure provider. We're licensed by FCA, FINRA, MAS, Hong Kong, Dubai, and South Africa. Been in the business for 10 years, offering access to global stock exchanges, custody, market data, tax wrapper solutions, fractional trading via API or full stack brokerage infrastructure.
Thanks, Salim. Shaul?
Hi, I'm Shaul. I'm from Solitix. Solitix is a marketing automation platform specific to brokers, helping brokers increase the lifetime value of traders and keeping trader progression from the first visit to the broker's website through their entire life cycle. And we work with lots of brokers around the world, helping them to improve retention and lifetime value.
Thank you. Thank you. Shaul, let me start with you with the first question. What does the next generation AI-ready technology stack look like? And how far away do you think most of the firms you are servicing or interacting or using are?
Yeah, it's a great question, Dimitris. It's like a hot topic. Everyone is speaking about AI. Everyone is like feeling they must do something with AI, and actually everyone is doing something with AI. For us, Solitix, we took AI to our world. We are a marketing technology company. And what we see when we're working with brokers around the world is that they have, as you mentioned in the beginning, a chaos of different silos of data, of technology and things like that. And they're looking to leverage those assets that they have and use their data in a smarter way to improve their business. AI, in some sense, helps accelerating this. So what we do with AI is we are able to integrate with a lot of data sources without requiring the brokers to change their infrastructure, because then it could be like a nightmare, a hell of a project which will take years. We use AI to shorten the cycle, and we are able to kind of by using AI, adapt to the existing infrastructure, to the existing data structures of brokers, and then use that to create better customer engagement. So I think one of the things that AI is helping to do is like accelerating the speed of adopting new technology, which is like the topic of our discussion
servicing the
today.
customer. Christopher, if I may come to you, you've been serving the customers through your stable platforms, MT3, MT4, MT5, I think, for the last decade or so. How far do you think we're away from that AI-ready platform?
Okay, so from my perspective, an AI-ready tech stack or a platform, basically it's not just an AI application. It's all about the architecture. So since 2010, where we introduced MetaTrader 5, the reason why we introduced it is because it was built on a totally different architecture, allowing it to scale. So I'm glad that you mentioned MT3, MT4, and then MT5. And based on that, it allowed us to grow and to be able to scale on that architecture. So by having the core of the platform and by having, for an example, the architecture that allows you to evolve, we have 5 key ingredients allowing the organizations to scale based on that. One of them is a unified and accessible data that is available. The other one is open and scalable infrastructure. The third one is AI integration points. And the other one is real-time event-driven connectivity. So by having that, because one of the biggest requirements to be able to leverage AI, you are able to move data in real time and freely across the entire organization and enterprise. And based on that, we have also extended our API connectivity with the introduction to other databases such as Apache Kafka, allowing to stream live trading and other operational data. So this can be leveraged and used by additional analytics platforms and other AI frameworks. So the good news is that most organizations are closer than to what they think into going to the next level and to operating more closer with AI technologies and to leverage, as long as they have the backbone and the architecture that can leverage all this data.
And so, the patience and the business stakeholders buy-in for the journey, etc. Marios, you are interacting as Google with various executives, right? From the largest company to the smallest. What is the biggest misconception you think that the executives have today when it comes to them becoming AI ready? Is it because they have a small standalone AI application making them AI ready?
I believe that, let's start with the full stack. Let's be connected with the previous question. It depends on the perspective that you are viewing the full stack question, because from a fintech perspective, you can look at it in a different way compared to from the Google perspective, for example. So I believe that the full stack consists of 4 pillars, which is data quality and volume, then the architecture, as previously mentioned, the observability and governance, because this is especially important for the fintech industry, where regulators will keep asking how the data are being processed and how they are being analyzed. And the 4th pillar is continuous experimentation and improvement, because this is something that has to be always there in order to keep evolving. As AI evolves rapidly, the speed is extremely high. Every month we have new solutions, so having this always-on experimentation mindset is critical. Now, on the misconception, I think a struggle that many big corporations are facing nowadays, and I think it's going to be a big challenge for the years to come, is the silos between the different departments. Because, as you know, many times the finance department is not communicating directly with the marketing department. Similarly, with the product department. And this creates a wall of data flow. So when AI is not having access to the full picture, is not able to provide the fully optimized insight so that the decision makers will take the ideal decision. So I think this silo is something that decision makers
needs to start breaking and see how to connect.
It's very, very important, yes.
And get the 1 + 1 = 3. Rob, let me come to you, if I may, from Symphonics. What is the single biggest source of this legacy chaos from your interactions with your customers and your partners?
So I think the biggest challenge here is actually looking at the code. The legacy code, you want to upgrade that code. You want AI. I mean, almost everybody these days uses AI to do coding. So how can you make sure that code is not hallucinating? Or how can you make sure the AI is not hallucinating that's generating that code? So I would come down to a couple of simple things. One that you touched on here, the event-driven architecture. That's a really good idea. Single-threaded microservices. So you want deterministic flow. You want to be able to capture your input events into your microservices, do something single-threaded and deterministic, capture your outputs. And then you can refactor that code, optimize it, and you can use AI to do that, but you can be assured that for those given inputs, you're going to be producing the same outputs because you've been able to integration test that. So break your systems down into testable single-threaded microservices, and that can give you the confidence then that AI is not hallucinating.
Okay, thank you. Shaul, let me come to you. So we said microservices, componentize, remove the business processing in another layer. What about data? Why do you think today firms struggle to turn this data insights, the ton of data they have internally and externally, into actionable insights? Do they struggle, do you think, and why?
So I think our client base is traditional mid-size to larger size brokers that have grown over the last 20, 30 years in a meta or non-meta type environment. Systems have been built, customized, adapted, and are sitting there kind of monolithically. So we are coming in here with the question as to how can we optimize everything with a sprinkle of AI on top, which is expensive to build and probably also then politically sometimes difficult to implement. So that's where I feel we're sitting. Other startups like a Revolut or much younger firms can say we're going all in on whatever is current at the moment as technology, obviously including AI, and build a full stack based on non-legacy kind of infrastructure. So market gateways will still be fixed API type connectivity, but then the core of the philosophy of the trading infrastructure is fresh. And we're dealing with, traditionally our clients are sitting, well, yes, we'd love to do X, but we can't. We need all kinds of, the plane is flying, please don't touch it too much or it will crash or we'll have trouble.
But we have to continue flying, right? We have to continue.
There is always this, and we come into the FX and CFD world as, I wouldn't say an outsider, but saying, hey, there's a whole world of listed exchanges that will allow you to raise more money from clients, cheaper acquisition, etc. It's beneficial for you to implement. However, it sits as a proposal that competes with 15 other things inside an organization, obviously, in addition to the AI layer. For us as a firm, we are obviously heavily regulated everywhere. So there is a limited amount of experimentation we can do. So it's probably connecting different environments. We mentioned sales, marketing, and finance, certainly having the ability to quickly ask questions to CRM to figure out how pipelines look going forward. And then it's certainly at the very front end of what we do for our B2B2C clients is modifying that front end so retail can come in with more AI type LLM type queries into a trading infrastructure versus a legacy platform. So that's what we want.
I would like to, if
go ahead.
it's okay. From my perspective, I don't think the biggest source of the legacy chaos is the legacy technology itself. I think it's more like the legacy operations, the legacy processes, because from my experience, when I see how brokers are running, I mean, many brokers, they run, let's say, separate systems, separate platforms, separate CRM, separate payment gateways, separate KYC system for KYC, for an example, separate bridges for connectivity, market data, and connecting with liquidity providers and aggregation. So what we are seeing, and what is the interest that we are seeing now, is that there is an interest towards a shift away from, let's say, managing separate technologies, and they want to be part of an ecosystem where the brokers, they want a system that they can have everything integrated, the platforms, the CRM, the bridges, the aggregation, the KYC, the payment, and so on, in one ecosystem that is going to be both easier to manage, it's going to have less complexity, and as well as the data. The data is going to flow more freely into the organization. And now, when we link this with the AI part, now it's going to be easier to then extend this data to your AI engine to be able to pull the needed data and to modernize where this is going to be needed. And on this part, it's something that we are also introduced a lot of solutions based on this. For an example, we have introduced payment gateways. We have recently introduced latency matching engine, which is a dedicated matching engine and connectivity solution to liquidity providers and to other venues. So plugging in all of these components together, it gives the possibility to brokers to be able to leverage and amplify their available data. So by working with multiple systems, it means that their data is fragmented, but when you are working in a native or integrated system or an integratable system, it means that your data is going to be cleaner, it's going to be faster, and you can amplify that data to work better by using AI technologies.
Thank you, Christopher. Yeah. Shaul, if I may come to you with Solidix, do you see firms struggle to turn the data into insights and actionable insights for their customers and for their customers?
Yes, definitely. I mean, a lot of our customers come to us after they were trying to build this kind of let's say, a real-time response to their data. So the idea is, of course, to use data to power your business, and you get much better results if you respond to it in real time than just, analyzing it manually, mechanically, and then taking some time to think about it and then using it. If you can respond to data in real time, you can really make a dramatic change in your business, because one of the other things that AI is driving is customer expectations. Customers nowadays, they don't want to wait. They don't want to search too much for information. They want everything fed to them with a spoon. And AI helps to handle that from both perspectives. So a lot of our customers are coming to us because they wanted to do something in real time. They wanted to have all their data unified. They wanted to be able to respond to it, but it was a technological nightmare. I mean, we have customers trying to do that for 1 year, 2 years, and then giving up. And what we are doing is we work on a different approach. We don't come to them as a platform and tell them, hey, this is our APIs, this is our data structure, collect the data from all your platforms and bring it to us. We say the opposite. What do you have? We will adapt to it. And of course, we are using AI to do this adaptation. So the work on the broker side is much lower. The time to deploy this project is like a few weeks, actually. We go live within a few weeks. And this kind of breaks this cycle of, okay, I want to use my data, but it's too complicated to do that.
Okay, thanks. This brings us to the next question, maybe for Rob. This incremental thing you mentioned now, Shaul, Rob, you mentioned before about the microservices, the isolation, componentization. Do you think our organizations today can modernize incrementally? Or
Yes.
do they really need
Absolutely.
those big 24 months engagements,
It's the wrong thing to do.
modernizations?
You
Okay.
have to modernize incrementally.
Okay.
Because if you give the greenfield project to a new team and say, off you go, the requirements are not going to have everything in them.
Okay.
And so you'll find that will be a car crash. You have to modernize incrementally. And you have to look at all of the functionality that your existing implementation is doing and almost do heart surgery on it and say, okay, we're going to replace this component, but we've captured all the inputs and we've captured all the outputs. But just to give a nod to the points that are made here, I totally agree. I think one of the biggest challenges we have is this interconnectivity with other liquidity providers and disparity. I mean, we use Fix quite heavily, as I usually do in MetaTrader. And the disparity, if you connect to one liquidity provider, and even though there's a standard there, they will work differently.
Yeah.
And it's a hell to actually develop, because very rarely can you actually test it in the test system. You often find out in production because the test systems don't integrate particularly well. So as an industry, if I could vote for something, I would say much better testing between organizations in data connectivity.
But also maybe literally coming back to the Meta example of having everything integrated, I think it works really well in a startup scenario. If you're already operating a business,
Yeah.
there'll always be migration issues, complexity of administering, moving to that boxed-in, more complex infrastructure. The way we see this, we deal with banks that have been in the investing space for 10, 20 years, and we become an additional gateway via Fix or via API. So probably our improvement of what the whole organization does is slightly less disruptive than to saying, okay, everything you did is bad. Because ultimately, if you're a bank regulated by ABC in Armenia, we wouldn't know what the standards are. We will trust the institution. And then we'll say, okay, this is how order flow works. This is how fixed testing works. It's a lot easier than to say, fine, everything you've done historically, put it in the bin.
Yeah, I find the bigger the firm, the less likely they are to change.
Exactly.
The smaller organisations
Exactly.
change. It's a bit like driving
Yeah.
in India, when the bigger the vehicle, the less likely it is to move out of the way.
Yeah. And probably, yes, and for these startup brokers that say we would like to get into investing, then we can say this is our toolkit, this is the CRM, this is sub-account creation, this is how everything works, here is your box.
Yeah.
And then we'll help you customize it the way it works.
I can agree with you partially on that.
Okay.
This was the case before, but now with the new, how we are changing things. For example, we recently introduced dedicated hosting on our own Equinix data centers with ready-made integration with Altency running on the same machine. So we see interest from the actual established brokers that they want to switch to our hosting, for example, because they want to leverage the higher speeds, lower latency. They want to take advantage of other things. So yes, before it was more for the startup brokers, but now we've seen also some shift from established ones. But most definitely, you cannot serve everybody with the same solution, because that's why we have also the API, because there is some custom requirements from huge financial institutions that they want to do their own thing. Yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
Okay. Thank you, Christoforos. A question maybe for you or Marios. What do brokers ask today that they were not asking for, let's say, 2 years ago? 5 years ago is too far away. What is that they're asking today that they didn't ask 2 years? How are we spoiling them? How are we treating them? What is that extra thing they're asking today they didn't want or think about 2 years ago?
Happy to take this one. If we look at the C leg of the B2B2C, it is a change of how the retail user interacts with the market. So coming from a platform that is an app, website, downloadable GUI, whatever we call it, to a more looser framework with LLMs guiding the process. So I think that's what firms are trialing, and that's what the more advanced markets are asking for, to say, let me do my research and then let me submit a transaction via a similar framework So there's an API coming from an LLM structure into the broker. Obviously for us then in a compliant way, which is the complexity of avoiding giving advice, managing portfolios for those firms that don't have the permissions, or for those clients that do not qualify.
Marius, maybe?
From the marketing perspective, where I can answer from, is two things. One is extremely accurate customization of their ads to the users, because now with the new technology, this is becoming more and more possible to be done. And the other thing is, especially for the brokers, for the fintech companies, is to acquire valuable users, because up until now, maybe up until 2020, most of the marketing fintech firms were trying to just acquire users. Now, with the evolution of technology and AI especially, there are algorithms that can predict what's the value of the user. So these are the two areas that fintech firms are asking more and more. I think we are now at a good point where we, as platforms, can provide this value to them. But for sure, there is much more improvement to come in the coming 5 years, I would say, especially with all of the data connections and unification. This is something that I see evolving a lot in the next few years.
Okay, thank you. Let me go back a bit to modernization. The owner of the company says there is so much you can do over time. The budget is limited, the resources are limited. So if the budget is limited, do you go with AI tools? Do you work on your data? Do you work on your components? What do we tell the attendees today? What is the first one that the company should start touching? Is it the processes, as Christopher said before? Who may
well,
take
unless you've got customers, you haven't got a business. So maybe you need to focus on getting customers. But it's like it's more of a business question, I think. You can argue the other way around. You can say you need to focus on having really good technology, because once you've got that really good technology, then you can sell it. But it's a hard question. But I always find with AI, we all run out of tokens pretty quickly, and you always want more. So
probably also looking at it from the owner's perspective, it's going to be MI, right? Is the ability to track a lot more of what's happening inside the different functions of that business and tying it together in real time. That's what I would say. Even if you're sitting, I'm coming from the mindset where I was running multiple brokers in parallel, and we had legacy infrastructure, and the owner said, you need to change these 50 things. And I said, 100%. The reality is you can't plug and unplug and replug. So it's probably getting to granularity over anything that's happening in different parts of the business and bubbling up live MI as close to possible, and having then the ability to affect change inside that business.
Yeah, I agree on that. It's also connected with something that I mentioned earlier about breaking the silos between the different departments, and this can be done in no cost, right? Finding a smart way to let the data flow freely without the entire company is something that can be done with no cost. And because of the speed of technology, now today it's extremely fast. I think it's smart for the CEO, for example, to set up an AI task force or have a special person that is fully dedicated on that aspect in order to be fully informed on what is new and what experiments need to be done. Exactly. And the constant experimentation is very important, and only with a dedicated person or team this can be done in the right way.
To counter that, though, I think there's a bit too much about AI, and we need to actually look about the solutions we're providing our customers. And AI is a tool, but it seems to me like it's being used for marketing too much.
Adding to that, I think, AI is coming in an evolutionary way into all the tools and all the technologies. All of us are putting AI into our platforms, into our systems. So it's not that as a business owner, you need to say, how do I use AI? You would use AI everywhere. You will use AI in operations, you will use AI in data, and it will come from all the technology providers. They all put AI, and it will help basically it will help improving the efficiency across the business. That's what I think.
But do you think will AI simplify the chaos we have today, or are we going to create another big
It can make it worse.
layer of complexity? And what do we have to keep in mind?
As a software developer,
Yeah.
the problem is you used to know the code really well because you used to sit and write it. Now you don't. Now you write a prompt and it writes it. So you don't know the code. When there's a problem, you think, I don't actually know how this works. That's the chaos. You're detached.
So we're missing the basics. So we're assuming the basics are
Because
there,
we're doing 5 times
automated
more
for
work
us.
because we're using AI, but you become a little bit more detached. It's like when you're the developer doing all the work and then you're the manager. You kind of know the problem domain, but you're sort of a step further back. Mm-hmm. So there's a risk there.
But maybe also for counterpoint is probably looking at a chatbot layer on top of a back office system, right? So when you're down the weeds, you can interrogate the chatbot and say, tell me what's happening with account X, tell me with the margining. So there is opportunity to simplify as well. I 100% agree on the code, which we've seen horror stories recently in the press. Agree with that, but I think from an institutional customer's perspective, especially if the operators are not that familiar with how the system works that we give to them, then the ability to interrogate that via chatbot is super attractive.
But on the flip side, there's the testing. You can do much more testing for the same cost. Static analysis, absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. Security, vulnerabilities, penetration testing, all of this stuff. You can do much more than you ever did before with AI.
And the question that a lot of organizations are having today is that, do I build it? Do I buy it? Do I collaborate with someone like GTN
to do all of those?
To have it, outsource it?
It depends
what is the right formula
what you
for
want. If you want it immediately,
company?
buy it. If you want control, build it. If you want to go somewhere in between, you maybe get a technical expert to come in that owns a platform, and they help integrate your solution, and you leverage their expertise. So it's how much do you want to be detached from the ownership of that? There's nothing worse than buying something and finding out, it doesn't do what we need for this 20% feature. And it's going to cost an absolute fortune to get them to change it because they're off in a different direction. So you kind of lose ownership of your technology platform. So yes, you can buy it, and yes, buy components that do things like fix engines. They're a great thing to buy because it's a very closed domain. But be careful about
So it's
getting someone else to write your code for you.
It's about all 3 options. It's a combination. You can, let's say, build something that maybe is going to differentiate you, put you in front of the competition, like your competitive advantage. But definitely, you can buy something that is already proven and it's gonna is mature enough, and you don't need to waste your resources to do that. And also, for example, you can partner with someone expert, and where it's going to help you accelerate your business this way.
Yeah, partnering and building or being part of an ecosystem.
But you need to look at what, you can't give an answer, that's what you should do. You need to look at what is the task we're trying to do, and what's out there, and what expertise do we have.
I think if it's something for the long term, it's preferable to build it in-house so that you will have the ownership to readjust it as you go in the future. But if it's something short term, I think it makes sense to go and partner with someone or just buy it. I agree, it totally depends on each case.
But I would say with AI, it's actually, there's more of a case now for building it in-house because it's looking all over the code. Whereas a developer might know a part of the code base, but you can actually get AI to look at a much wider sphere of the code. So, I don't know, maybe you can move quicker with AI. I don't know if you agree, but...
Yeah.
Now, let's try a bit to think about the future. What is this infrastructure capability? Maybe that's more for Marius. What is that infrastructure capability do you think that is going to differentiate us, let's say in 2 years down the road? What is that new infrastructure that will differentiate us to accelerate this legacy to AI-ready journey?
For me, it's all about data. And data is a keyword when it comes to helping AI work. This is the foundation. Okay, we have the different algorithms, code that need to be built, the architecture, but if the data are poor, then nothing will work out. So data quality and data volume, and to achieve that, and data unification is really important throughout the departments, throughout the same teams. And I think a signal that we are going towards that direction is the collaboration, for example, of Google and Oracle that provide this feature to their clients so that they can, in real time, combine all their data together from Oracle to the Google platforms. So the firms that will arrive first at this place will be able to accelerate much faster compared to the rest.
Christoforos, as a platform provider and so much dependency on you out there.
Yes, I think regarding the infrastructure capability, how to differentiate, how it's going to differentiate now. I agree as well about data, but data also goes back to the infrastructure. To have the architectural agility as a company, as a technology they are using. For an example, to have the systems either native or integrated so well, so the quality of data that can be exported and put into data silos can be further processed by the AI technologies that are going to be on top of this layer. So the winners are going to be the organizations that are going to be able to adapt to these capabilities. And with our ecosystem, with the Meta365 ecosystem, we're giving all these possibilities to the brokers, especially with our Altency matching engine, also with our Altency cloud hosting that we're offering now for the brokers, where we give them the possibility to migrate or to deploy their servers in one ecosystem so they have access to all the data. We give them all the data points to export this data and also to use other providers as well to further processing of this information.
Okay, thank you. And one more question maybe for Shaul and Salim. If you were to advise a CEO tomorrow facing this legacy chaos as we call it today, what would be the first one, the first thing they should do? Is it processes? Yeah. Is it people? Is it organization? Is it partners? Is it ecosystem?
I think it does require a detached team inside the business, but not the COO or somebody sitting on an operating or technology or brokerage trading desk to handle such a project. And to say, fine, what is the expectation from customers, right? So in the institutional world, there's still an expectation of these banks and brokers coming from the retail space to say onboarding should be faster. So we're talking about a corporate opening an institutional relationship. There's all kinds of checks. Probably there can be optimization there. But then I would say it's reconnecting the MI in the different departments to say what do we do and how do we report against that, and what is the AI flavor of making this faster and making this more precise. Okay. I think for us as an infrastructure provider, most of the incremental innovation will happen at the front end, in that we've heard it from Saudi banks and brokers and all kinds of firms around the world to say, look, trading platforms are great, but there's so much more happening with the LLMs. What is the plan to really connect to that part of younger traders, younger investors that do their research based on what the LLM spits out, and then it's for us to take that in as an order, as a portfolio, as a portfolio management type.
Shaul, your point of view?
Connecting to what Salim is saying, I think one of the great challenges of brokers in this time is the fact that they are in some way becoming very similar, and it's very hard to differentiate for the traders. Christos is doing a great job, but everyone has MT4, MT5. So what makes one broker different than the other one? It's not the trading platform. So what we see is the most efficient way to improve business is to really create an hyper-personalized experience for the users. So each user is being engaged, getting the things he needs immediately with no waiting. And it's not like in the past it was, okay, we'll do segmentation. We have a high way of users, we have beginners and so on. It's not enough anymore, because even if me and my friend are belonging to the same segment, maybe today I lost 80% of my portfolio and my friend gained 200%. So we should be treated differently. And if brokers will be able to create this kind of immediate response to users' action, hyper-personalized experience, like having, like the private banking experience. You have your personal banker, they take care of everything you do, and they respond immediately, they are available anytime. This is the thing which I think most brokers need today, and this is what will help them differentiate, because eventually it's about traders getting value from the broker and staying with them because they get this value and they feel at home with this broker and not another one.
So being attached to your provider, trust, building the partnerships and the ecosystem, that matters a lot. So any other thoughts, anyone, or I can share the summary that I managed to put together. So we heard that transition from chaos to what is called AI ready. It's not a project, it's a journey. It can be incremental. It needs to be, in order to be successful, you need to align the business strategy, the people, the processes, and technology. Partnerships and ecosystem, of course, matters. It's a journey, as we said, it's not a project. And AI readiness starts with trusted data and the strong foundations in the infra, in the IT, and in the processes. That is what I heard. And anyone else to add anything else to that?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you. Thank you, Ria.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.